Wealth isn't just a number in the bank, it's a state of mind. And for the families who've preserved their fortunes for generations, their mindset is their greatest inheritance. Before we dive in, ask yourself this. If you suddenly gained generational wealth, would you know how to keep it? Or would it quietly disappear within your lifetime? Because statistically, 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation and 90% by the third. Old money families, however, have mastered something that most of the newly rich never do: a philosophy. A set of beliefs that silently guide how they live, spend, raise their children, and even speak. So, if you're curious about what truly separates generational wealth from temporary success, stay with us. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 5 core beliefs that define the old money mindset. But first, if you love exploring the hidden world of legacy, wealth, and quiet luxury, make sure you subscribe to the Luxury Lane. We uncover the rules, habits, and secrets the elite rarely talk about. Now, let's step into the mindset of those who don't just chase wealth, they inherit it and keep it. The old money elite are guided by an internal code, a quiet philosophy that shapes every decision they make, from how they spend their mornings to how they raise their children. It's not just about maintaining wealth, it's about maintaining identity. To the ultra-rich born into privilege, money isn't the goal. It's the byproduct of something greater: restraint, duty, and a sense of continuity that extends far beyond their own lifetimes. So what exactly drives them? Let's step inside their world, the world of mahogany libraries, generational estates, and family mottos carved in Latin, to uncover the 5 core beliefs that define the old money mindset. Number 1. Wealth is a responsibility, not a trophy. To old money, wealth is never something to flaunt. It's something to steward. They see themselves as caretakers of something larger and wealth that must outlive them. Take the Vanderbilt family, once among America's wealthiest. By the 1970s, their fortune had almost vanished, a textbook case of what happens when wealth becomes a competition rather than a calling. Contrast that with the Rockefellers. They built systems, trusts, family councils, charitable foundations, designed to preserve and multiply their fortune for over a century. That's the difference between spending wealth and safeguarding legacy. Old money families teach this from an early age. Their children don't grow up hearing, "We're rich." They grow up hearing, "We have a duty." In these circles, wealth is less about consumption and more about continuity. Each generation becomes a link in a chain, not the end of it. So, when an old money heir buys a property, it's rarely impulsive. They think, will this hold value for the next 50 years? That same thinking extends to their education, investments, and even friendships. It's not about looking rich, it's about protecting the family legacy from erosion. Number 2. Discretion is power. If new money builds a mansion to show it off, old money builds an estate behind tall hedges and lets it disappear into the landscape. Discretion isn't just a preference, it's a survival strategy. The ultra-rich understand that true influence grows stronger when it's invisible. You won't see them posting luxury cars on social media or revealing where they vacation. Privacy is their currency, and they guard it fiercely. Old money operates on the belief that the less people know about you, the more control you have over your life. That's why many of these families live quietly in places like Greenwich, Connecticut, or Lake Forest, Illinois, close enough to the world's centers of power, yet far enough to remain unseen. They favor subtlety in everything, from fashion to conversation. A worn leather briefcase might hold more wealth than a diamond-studded watch ever could. The point is simple: real wealth doesn't announce itself. It's a belief rooted in centuries of aristocratic culture, the idea that refinement lies in understatement. They'd rather own quietly than compete loudly. Number 3. Legacy over luxury. If you think old money revolves around yachts, champagne, and designer clothes, think again. Luxury to them isn't about excess, but it's about endurance. A leather-bound book collection passed down for generations means more than the latest sports car. A family crest holds more emotional weight than any brand logo. Old money sees legacy as the highest form of wealth. They're not chasing the next trend, they're preserving traditions that have already stood the test of time. Their homes aren't built to impress guests. They're designed to hold history. Portraits of ancestors line the walls, and silverware sets are used at every holiday dinner because they belong to great-grandparents. To them, every object tells a story of restraint, preservation, and memory. That's why you rarely see impulsive spending among generationally wealthy families. They plan in decades, not days. They ask, Will this decision add to the family legacy or dilute it? It's not just nostalgia, it's strategy. A strong legacy keeps a family united, respected, and remembered. New money spends to prove something. Old money preserves to protect something. Number 4. Education is the true status symbol. In the old money world, education isn't just a path to a career, it's a lifestyle. Knowledge, culture, and critical thinking are viewed as the most valuable currencies of all. They send their children to schools like Eton, Harvard, or Yale, not only for the academics, but for the networks and the values those institutions instill. But even beyond formal education, old money families emphasize cultural literacy, art, music, literature, and history. Because to them, being well-educated means being well-rounded. They believe that wealth without wisdom is dangerous. It breeds arrogance, entitlement, and decay. That's why an old money family dinner might include conversations about global politics, classical music, and current affairs. But never about flashy purchases. They raise their children to fit in anywhere, whether at a diplomatic reception or a countryside charity gala. It's a quiet, cultivated confidence, one that doesn't depend on external validation. In fact, many of them follow the principle of noblesse oblige, the moral obligation of the privilege to act with grace, intelligence, and generosity. Because to them, education isn't just about achievement, it's about character. Number 5. Duty to the greater good. Perhaps the most misunderstood belief of old money is their sense of duty. To outsiders, it can look like elitism, but within their world, it's a kind of moral code. Many of the world's most powerful dynasties, from the Rothschilds to the Rockefellers, built vast philanthropic empires funding hospitals, universities, and public institutions. To them, giving isn't a PR move. It's an obligation. The family name must mean something beyond wealth. This belief stems from centuries of aristocratic tradition, where privilege came with responsibility. They understand that influence, when used properly, ensures longevity. A family that gives back earns respect, and respect maintains power. Their giving is strategic, designed not just to help others, but to reinforce stability in the society that sustains their status. Because ultimately, the old money mindset isn't just about keeping wealth, it's about keeping order. When we look at these 5 beliefs, responsibility, discretion, legacy, education, and duty, we begin to see that old money lives by a code that transcends trends and time. Their wealth endures not because of luck, but because of values. They don't ask, how can I spend my fortune? They ask, how can my fortune serve something greater than myself? The hidden architecture of the old money mindset. When you peel back the layers of what makes old money different, you start to see something deeper than financial success. It's a form of psychological engineering. These families have spent generations conditioning their members to think long-term, act with restraint, and view wealth as a tool for preservation rather than indulgence. Their mindset functions almost like an invisible operating system, quiet, disciplined, and built on unshakable values. Let's go deeper into how these beliefs actually play out in real life. The principle of delay and discipline. For old money, the ability to delay gratification is not a skill. It's an inheritance. They understand that wealth dissipates fastest when it's used to satisfy short-term desires. That's why you'll find many old money families living surprisingly modest lives, even though their assets are measured in hundreds of millions. They'd rather reinvest than indulge. They'd rather repair than replace. A scratched heirloom table? It stays. A 10-year-old car that still runs perfectly? They'll keep driving it. This restraint isn't about frugality, it's about continuity. To them, discipline creates freedom. It's the same mindset that's allowed European aristocratic families to hold their estates for over 500 years, while countless new fortunes have come and gone in a single generation. They understand a powerful truth. Money that grows too quickly dies even faster. So they move carefully. They diversify their investments. They avoid speculation. Their focus isn't on getting rich, it's on staying rich quietly. The social code, elegance over exhibition. To old money, elegance isn't about the price of your possessions, it's about the absence of need to prove yourself. You can spot the difference in the smallest details. While new wealth often buys the latest high-fashion trends, old money gravitates toward timeless pieces. A navy cashmere sweater, a pearl necklace, a well-tailored blazer, things that age gracefully, just like their reputations. They dress for themselves, not for others. Even their homes reflect this principle. You won't find neon-lit home theaters or marble floors imported last season. You'll find understated beauty, weathered oak, family portraits, antique rugs that have traveled through time and memory. The walls hold stories, not status symbols. They believe that taste isn't something money can buy, it's something culture refines. That's why old money invests more in exposure than in excess. Trips to Europe aren't just vacations, they're cultural education. Opera tickets, art collections, rare book auctions, these are not flexes, but rituals of refinement. They move through life with quiet confidence because they never feel the need to convince anyone of their worth. The family unit as a fortress. If you ever wonder how old money survives centuries, the answer lies in one word: unity. Their greatest investment isn't the stock market, it's family governance. Most old money dynasties have an internal structure that operates almost like a company. They hold annual meetings where family members discuss financial performance, philanthropic goals, and intergenerational plans. These meetings aren't about control, they're about continuity. Every member knows their role, their responsibilities, and the values they are expected to uphold. Discipline isn't enforced by fear, it's passed down through expectation and example. Children grow up understanding that their name carries weight, and that weight comes with duty. They're taught early on that being a Rockefeller or a Rothschild means something more than having money. It means representing history. Many old money families even have what's known as a family constitution, a written document outlining their mission, values, and code of conduct for future generations. It's not about wealth management, it's about character management, because they know that if values decay, fortune follows. Silence as a strategy. Another defining feature of old money is their relationship with silence. They don't talk about wealth, they let time speak for them. You'll rarely see them in interviews, documentaries, or on flashy social media accounts. Their influence flows beneath the surface, through foundations, quiet partnerships, and long-term holdings. Why? Because silence is the ultimate shield. The less attention they attract, the fewer vulnerabilities they expose. Silence grants them power, privacy, and peace. Three things far more valuable than fame. They understand something that many people never realize. When you remove the need to be seen, you gain the freedom to think clearly. This calm invisibility allows them to make better decisions, less reactive, more strategic, and almost always aligned with their long-term vision. Even in conversation, old money is deliberate. They don't overshare. They don't boast. They listen twice as much as they speak, a habit that gives them an edge in business and society alike. Why the old money mindset still matters today? In today's hyper-connected, influencer-driven world, the old money code almost feels like rebellion. While modern culture glorifies speed, display, and consumption, the old money philosophy celebrates patience, privacy, and preservation. And ironically, that's what makes it more relevant than ever. People are beginning to realize that quiet luxury isn't just about minimalistic fashion. It's about mindset. It's about creating a life so stable, so grounded, that you never have to prove anything. In a world obsessed with attention, the greatest flex is discretion. Old money's timeless success lies in their refusal to be distracted by noise. Their greatest wealth is psychological, not material. They've mastered the art of being content, composed, and connected to something bigger than themselves. So, when you think about what separates the truly wealthy from everyone else, it's not the number in their bank account, it's the narrative in their mind. Old money families don't ask, "How can I spend more?" They ask, "How can I make this last?" They don't chase visibility, they cultivate value. They don't seek admiration, they seek continuity. And they don't measure success in luxuries, but in legacies. Because in the end, fortunes fade, trends vanish. But values, the right values, can echo across generations. And that is the quiet power of the old money mindset.